Go ahead.
Very welcome. Thank you. And also, if I might welcome Minister Neil Richmond as well here in his new role, and congratulations as well. This is fantastic to hear about this Future Ireland Fund and the Infrastructure, Climate and Nature Fund. And it's fantastic, of course, to see that it's been welcomed internationally and both here with the Irish Fiscal Advisory Council. It looks particularly at 4 areas: demography, of course, our population, we're 5.2 million, I believe, and then of course that we have a population that's getting older, living active and healthy lives, decarbonisation, digitalisation and deglobalisation. Minister, if I might speak to just some of these things. I come from the west of Ireland. You talk anytime to the Western Development Commission and they will tell you very clearly about the balance of investment in this country, and at a European Union level, how the West and the Northwest is actually designated a different region because we do not see the same level of investment. So I guess my ask here of our ministers is that we will see balanced regional investment with this fund when it is being used across some of the areas that have been mentioned here. Particularly, one of the things that I've always talked about, I've talked about with our colleagues, with ministers and with our former Taoiseach, is around electronic health patient shared record. So in other words, it's a care record. I think it's now called a shared care record. It's hard to know. Its name changes every few years. But we still do not have an electronic, digital, online access for each and every person in the state in terms of the care that they receive across the country. This, to me, is one of the major lacks in terms of our health service. It would incredibly transform the type of care that we would receive, both in primary care, within our communities. Sláinte Care is all about delivering care out into the communities, and I am at a loss to know how you do that when we are looking to keep people in their homes. We're talking here about demography and digitalisation. Those 2 aspects alone, Minister. Digitalisation, how do we have assistive technologies for older people? How do we have assistive technologies for people with additional needs, children with additional needs? Those are the things that I think we need to see. Those are the things that companies, Indigenous, innovative, Irish companies, startups, VCs coming out of colleges would have so many ideas around. I previously worked in Health Innovation Hub Ireland, and I have seen those companies with amazing ideas. The challenge is that it is really, really difficult in terms of being able to access data, statistics, knowledge about our systems, because we do not have online health records. This to me is crucial. This to me would transform. It is looking and building in with digitalisation, and it's also linking in with our demography and the fact that our population is getting older. I suppose, Minister, if I might highlight as well that the fund here is particularly around decarbonisation. And of course, I come from East Galway and Roscommon. Those are 2 areas that are included in the European Union Just Transition Fund. That JTF, EU JTF, has currently been rolled out at the moment. And part of that, over 180 million, half of that from Exchequer, has been rolled out to those counties in the Midlands. But the challenge I see is that it's coming through Fáilte Ireland, which again is wonderful. If there are businesses and individuals that are able to apply for these funds, the challenge we have is that we do not have the tourism infrastructure, and it's also extremely limited. The types of companies that can apply for this, if I can give you just one example. For example, a wonderful company, business, a restaurant and a cafe may look to maybe have additional accommodation. Maybe they'd look to have log cabins, very simply. They need to have planning permission in place. The deadlines alone for these processes and programs for funding is June of this year for expression of interest and December this year. Those businesses may not be able to avail of that 180 million that's coming down through a number of different strands, but they may not be able to avail of that. What I want to see when it comes to decarbonisation is where are the balance measures for places to get employment, local employment, driving investment into our regions, because to me, the lack of balanced regional investment is visible in many, many ways. Transport being one of those in terms of local links. Even along, you look at Dublin to Galway, they've just removed the air coach service. The X20 and 20 bus Éireann service was removed. We want to see balanced regional investment. We need to see how this fund will do that. And again, tackle demography, decarbonisation, digitalisation and deglobalisation, which means local communities driving this. Thank you.